If you spend over 1.5 hours working out, then you're just wasting your time.
Your workout should only take an hour max.
Stop being lazy!
Just do less sets, bro.
And just stop doom scrolling between sets. Alright, I only got 6 exercises to do today for 3 sets each. Each set only takes like a minute, so I should be able to blaze through this really quick. Shit, maybe I'll try shortening my rest times, you know? Wait, but maybe that wouldn't be good for my gains since shorter rest times means worse performance. Maybe I'll try fewer days, but then each day would get longer since I have more stuff. What if I have to reduce my exercises and sets? I mean, is that really the only way? I mean, people on here are doing like 8+ exercises per workout and doing just fine. I got a job, man, responsibilities, wife and kids. You're not shit out of luck, my dude. There's many ways not many talk about to make your workouts more efficient while maximizing your progress. I lift 4 times a week, around 8 exercises per session with 3 hard sets each, and only take around 1.5 hours per session. So let's get into it. This is hands down one of the best things I've done in order to save time. I use it for basically every exercise except the first 1 to 2, and it allows me to turn what should be much longer workouts into something much more manageable. Supersetting is simply doing 2 exercises back to back with very little rest time in between, like 1 minute as opposed to the usual 3. Point is the exercises themselves will serve as part of the rest time for each other. The idea sounds good on paper, but can be executed absolutely horrifically. People will rest too long in between the sets, basically defeating the purpose of supersets entirely. If you are resting 3 minutes in between supersets, just do straight sets, or shorten that to at most 2 minutes. People will target the same muscles back to back at different angles, but overall, it will be worse in the long run versus just doing straight sets, since your performance will be negatively affected as you're essentially just cutting your rest times much shorter and making it harder to track your strength since you're alternating. People will target similar muscles back to back, so same problem as the last, but the muscle overlap is less direct. For example, a bench press and a tricep pushdown. These will interfere with each other similarly. People will try to superset 2 exercises that they can't handle supersetting. You shouldn't try supersetting squats and hamstring curls, even if they target different muscle groups, as for most people, the cardio demands will start interfering rather than your muscle actually getting closer to failure. So how should we go about supersetting properly? Here are some basic guidelines. Only target opposing or unrelated muscle groups within a session. So like biceps and triceps because they do the opposite actions, or mid delts and triceps because their actions rarely, if ever, overlap. Keep rest times between supersets to 1 to 2 minutes. Try to only superset lighter lifts, so isolation plus isolation, compound plus isolation, and upper body compound plus upper body compound. Lastly, you don't want to superset exercises that will interfere with future exercises in the workout. Like if you decide to superset a bench press and a curl, but then you have to do pull-ups afterward, you've just pre-fatigued your biceps, which is no bueno. As long as you follow these guidelines, the impacts on your gains will be kept to a minimum and can go as far as to cut your workouts in half. So here's an example of me applying supersets on this sample workout. For actually executing supersets, here's what I do to make it simple. After finishing the first exercise, I set my rest timer for 3 to 4 minutes. Then during that time is when I do the second exercise. Once the rest time is over, I'll do the first exercise and then reset the clock. I repeat this for the number of sets I need to do, and that is it. What should you expect? You are definitely going to be more gassed than usual, and this is going to be pretty hard to do if your work capacity currently sucks, so you do have to suck it up. You also might be hogging equipment if you do this in a public gym, so make sure you superset exercises that require very minimal pieces of equipment. While we're talking about supersets, what about super muscle growth? If you're not taking creatine currently, you can still make gains, duh, but you're missing out on some extra gains that you could get simply by taking some powder or a pill. Creatine boosts your performance and recovery, allowing you to train hard and recover harder. What's important is that you take it along with working hard to reap the benefits. It's not going to give you gains on its own. Personally, powder tastes like shit, and pills are, well, pills. What if you could instead take flavored gummies that actually taste good? Well, these creatine gummies from Tasty Gains got you. I've recently started taking them, and they've been insanely convenient. It's basically like the Flintstones multivitamin gummies we took as kids. Easy to use, huge boosts in gains, and they are third-party lab tested. One of creatine's biggest issues has been quality control. So if you're in the need of a simple creatine supplement that won't give you diseases, this shit is for you. Link in the description to try out Tasty Gains. They're vegan, gluten-free, and also made in the US. So you can superset your lighter exercises, but how do you speed up your heavier shit? Next up. I know what you're gonna say. Don't higher reps take longer because you're spending more time before failure? Yes and no. This is heavily exercise dependent. On something like curls, sure, for most people a set of 6 will likely take less time. What if you're decently strong on something like a squat, a deadlift, even heavier leg machines where you'd want to do some warm-up sets to avoid injury? Working up to a heavy-ass weight for those things is gonna take quite a while of doing warm-up sets and loading up all those plates. Contrast that with somebody doing higher reps. They can be ready to go in 1 to 2 warm-up sets because the weight can just be that much lighter. This becomes better for higher reps and worse for lower reps the heavier you go, as the difference between the weight you can use for 15 reps and 5 reps will grow greater and greater due to the nature of how percentages and rep maxes work. It also depends a bit on other factors. Some people perform better at higher reps versus lower reps and vice versa. But if you're used to lower reps right now, then your performance is probably going to be worse than you probably think, which is a good thing because it means you can get the same stimulus with a lower weight. What about exercises I can't superset and that don't benefit from higher reps? Next up. Rest pause sets are simply done by pretty much eliminating your rest times completely. So you take an exercise, choose a weight, and go to failure on it. After that set, just take a brief pause for 15 breaths, and then do that set over again. You'll probably get like half the reps of the last set, or less, but that's fine. You can also do additional sets like this for more volume if the time allows for that. Isn't this just lowering down the volume and making the exercise less effective? It is lowering down the volume and rest times, yes, but not all volume is created equal. Usually the reps closer to failure are more stimulative to muscle growth, and rest pause sets are essentially just doing those, though overall a bit less effective if you keep the same amount of sets. But why would you do that? You can easily add even more than 3 rounds to this to add additional volume without taking up much more time. I like to use these for isolations at the end of my workout that I wasn't able to superset in. Next up. Some of you guys take a lot longer than you should with a workout simply because you just keep getting distracted from other things like your gym bro, doom scrolling, whatever. And I get it, maybe you're on the last exercise and you just want to check your messages real quick, but you can't be doing this for every exercise, every set. It takes up a lot more time than you realize. Like damn, it really was that damn phone. So how do we go about fixing this? There's multiple ways and I'll show you each of them. 1. Hold yourself accountable with your own rest times. Whenever I finish a set, I will go to my stopwatch app and start the timer and then put my phone back and just wait until my rest time is over after around 3 to 4 minutes. I'll check the timer occasionally, and when it's close to time to do the next set, I'll reset the timer. This just helps me accurately keep track of them. It is a habit that takes some time to build though. 2. Set a timer for unracking equipment and changing exercises. Some of us are fine doing our sets, but then take forever when changing exercises and re-racking weights. Timing that as well can light a fire under your ass and push you to get through it faster rather than getting distracted. However, sometimes the gym can be busy and the exercises you pick can make it take much longer than it should. In that case, you should have backup exercises ready in case someone has taken the equipment already. So a backup exercise for a barbell bench press could be a flat dumbbell bench press. You can also prioritize more easy to set up movements like dumbbells and machines. 3. Modify your phone. Pick a music playlist so you don't have to go back to change songs or whatever. Try having all the apps you're gonna use already open before you start. Temporarily delete all your social media and games, or hide/restrict them in some way for the duration of your workout. Having do not disturb enabled also helps here. 4. Get rid of that phone. Some of you guys just can't help it, and it'd be best to try tracking your rest times and workout elsewhere like a notebook and an actual stopwatch. At the same time, I would also recommend doing an activity like meditation, slowly working up the duration over time in order to improve your ability to focus without getting distracted. What has worked best for me is to just take off the headphones after my first exercise and not listen to any music the rest of the workout. Not entirely sure why, probably because it's much harder to hear your phone and do anything with it when you're in a public area without headphones on. Next up. Some of you just have too many lifting days and more sets than you need, especially if you're new to working out. I'd say you really only need 3 to 4 sets of lifting at most to maximize your results. So if you're currently going 6 times a week, you could try something with less days and save on your time spent driving/getting ready. You also very likely don't need upwards of 15 plus sets per muscle group per week to see great results. If you're new, I recommend setting a low baseline, like 6 to 10 sets per muscle per week, then trying to make gains off of that. This will teach you to make the most off of a more limited number of sets sets and maximize your lifting intensity, quality over quantity. You should also prioritize compound movements over isolation movements if you're newer, because you're able to better stimulate multiple muscles at once, getting the most bang for your buck. Hope you found this helpful. If you liked what you saw here and want direct help with your program applying these principles live, we can have a chat, man, with the first link in the description. You care about saving time working out, so you probably also care about maximizing your progress within that. I got just a video for you right here, man.